Somebody's clock is on. Kujantam Rama Ramedi Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinah Shrunvan Rama Katanadam Konayati Param Gatim Yeppiban Satatam Rama Charitamrita Sagaram Adriptastam Munim Bande Pracheta Samakalmasham Goshpati Kritavarashim Mashaki Krita Rakshasam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Bande Nilatmajam Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kapisham Akshahantaram Bande Lanka Bhayankaram Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayota Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakанjalim Bashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Valmiki Girisambhuta Ramasagara Gamini Punadi Bhuvanam Punya Ramayana Mahanadi Veda Vidye Paripamsi Jate Dasharadatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadasid Sakshat Ramayanatmana Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarva Sampadam Lokaviramam Sri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Mangalam Kosalendraya Mahaniya Gunabdhaye Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai Umapati Mahadev ki jai Bolo Bhai Sab Santan ki jai. Here, Valmiki, the way he describes the entire scene of Hanumanji getting ready to leap the mountain, leap the ocean from the mountain, Mahendra Parvat, is as though like a what we call today as movie screenplay. A story is there, but when the story is just told, it'll look like some reading a history book. Whereas when you read it as a novel, what is novelty? Novelty is how the situation is described. Here, Valmiki describes the entire situation, not leaving anything aside, the entire atmosphere is getting ready, not only Hanuman, for a great task that is ahead. The task is not just only to bring Sita to Rama, but the task of destroying the demon called Ravana. To destroy a demon called Ravana, a normal person is not possible, cannot. It is necessary, the Duta of Rama himself must be mighty, powerful, the strong. During the Republic Day parade, in India, why do they show the mightiness of the country by demonstrating what all the weapons they have? Not all of them they show anyway. Army, Navy, Air Force, they show a small glimpse of it. This is the strength. This is what we are. If we come to touch us, this is what you get. So the strength of the country, to demonstrate that. In the same way, strength of Rama is in the sevaks, who are so mighty and powerful. Later on, in one place, it is said by Vali's son Angada to Ravana, how many of us have landed here? You've seen one sample, right? One person. He's the actually lowest in our rank, just to create fear in the heart of Ravana. The one who burnt Lanka is the lowest rank. One person. Thousands of have assembled here. Now understand what will happen to you. So this way, the strength of the enemy. Now, anyway, here Hanumanji having stood there, even the snakes that were there, deadly snakes, venomous ones, they vomited the deadly poison on the rocks by biting them. The huge boulders, unable to bear the poison, the intensity of the poison, broke into pieces. Even the herbs that were growing on in that Mahendra Parvat or mountain, which are capable of destroying the power of the poison, also have become incapable of doing. Therefore, Vidyateyam girir bhutaihi. Who is chanting?
Sorry, Swamiji, forgot to unmute. Vidyateyam girir bhutaihi.
Iti matva tapasvinaha.
Iti matva tapasvinaha.
Asta vidyadharastasmat.
Trasta vidyadharastasmat.
Utpedusri ganaisaha.
Utpetustri ganaisaha.
Anabhumikatam hitva.
Panabhumigatam hitva.
Hemama savabhajanam.
Haimama savabhajanam.
Patrani cha maharhani.
Patrani cha maharhani.
Karakanscha hiranmayan.
Karakanscha hiranmayan.
Lehanuchavachan bhakshyan.
Lehyanuchyavachan bhakshyan.
Mamsani vividani cha.
Mamsani vividhani cha.
Arshabani cha charmani.
Arshabhani cha charmani.
Khadgamscha kanakatsaram. Kanakatsaru. Is it? Sarun.
Sarun.
Khadgamscha kanakatsarun.
खड्गांश्च कनकस्सरून्
कृतकण्ठगुणा क्षीभाः
कृतकण्ठगुणाक्षीबाः
रक्तमाल्यानुलेपनाः
रक्तमाल्यानुलेपनाः
रक्ताक्षा पुष्कराक्षाश्च
रक्ताक्षाः पुष्कराक्षाश्च
गगनं प्रतिपेदिरे
गगनं प्रतिपेदिरे
हारनूपुरकेयूर
हारनूपुरकेयूर
पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
पारिहार्यधरा स्त्रियः
विस्मिता सस्मितास्तस्तः सस्ताः सस्तुः
विस्मिता सस्मितास्तस्थुः
आकाशे रमणैः सह
आकाशे रमणैः सह
हर्षयन्तो महाविद्याम्
दर्शयन्तो महाविद्याम्
विद्याधरमहर्षयः
विद्याधरमहर्षयः
सहितास्तस्तुराकाशे
सहितास्तस्थुराकाशे
वीक्षां चक्रुषुः वीक्षां चक्रुश्च पर्वतम्
वीक्षांश्चक्रुक्षपर्वतम्
शुश्रुवुश्च तदा शब्दम्
शुश्रूपुश्च तदा शब्दम्
ऋषीणां भाविदात्मनाम्
ऋषीणां भावितात्मनां
कारणानां च सिद्धानां
चारणानां च सिद्धानां
हितानां विबलेम्बरे
स्थितानां विमलेम्बरे
एष पर्वतसङ्काशो
ईश पर्वतसङ्काशो
हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः
हनुमान् मारुतात्मजः
ईर्षति महावेगः
तितीर्षति महावेगः
समुद्रवरुणालयम्
समुद्रं वरुणालयम्
रामार्तं वानरार्तं च
रामार्थं वानरार्थं च
ईर्षन् कर्म दुष्करम्
चिकीर्षन् कर्म दुष्करम्
समुद्रस्य परं पारम्
समुद्रस्य परं पारम्
दुष्प्रापं प्राप्तुमिच्छति
दुष्प्रापं प्राप्तुमिच्छति
अयं गिरेः भूतैः इति मत्वा तपस्विनः त्रस्ताः विद्याधराः this giri, this very mountain, they did not know because of Hanuman this is happening. Vidyadharaha, there is a one class of celestial beings, ascetics. So those ascetics, they thought that it is been occupied by some demon. Bhutaihi, because of some demon that is now doing this, because of which ayam girihi vidyate bhutaihi dimatta tapasvina trastaha vidyadharaha. They become so afraid. Tasmad utpeduhu. Therefore, they left their abode from the mountains, which they were originally there. Stri ganaihi saha, along with their own stris, women or wives. And when we say ascetics, does not mean they are brahmajnanis or anything. They are those who are practicing certain disciplines, austerities. And so they had, because it is a heavenly citizen, so therefore they had access to all wine, alcohol, everything. Pana bhumigadam hitva, leaving their Pama bhumigadam, a place where they were having different kinds of wines. Pana here is to be understood as wine. Haima distillery. Asava means distillery. Haima Asava Bhajanam, the very pitcher or a jug which contained all the liquor, etc. Leaving Patranija Maharhani, and various vessels which are so precious. Vases, Karagamscha Hiranmayan, the golden vases or golden cups through which they were drinking, all that. Lehyanucha Avachan Bhakshan, and those food items which can be licked, and eatable Mamsani, all the various meats, Vividan, variety of them. Arshabhani cha charmani. Rishabha, ox. Arshabha is plural of them. Arshabhani cha charmani, oxen is called. The very skin of all the oxen. Kadgamscha, swords. Kanagastarun, which have the golden handle. The huge swords they were having, which are having golden grip, all of them having rifta behind. Kritakanta gunaha, and those who are having the necklace which are made out of gold. Kritakanta guna Kshiba. Most of them have already taken enough of alcohol, drunk. Raktamalyanulepanaha, having red garlands on their body, as well as anulepanaha, smeared with probably red-colored sandalwood paste. Rakta akshaha, having had their wine, etc. Therefore, eyes are also short red. Pushkara akshascha, their eyes are not only red, but also looking like that of the lotus. Gamanam pradipedire, they have risen up to the sky. The ascetics are considered to be, according to the latest scientists here in the world, these so-called citizens of the heaven are none other than aliens. And then aliens have the ability to even fly. So they have lifted themselves up to the sky. This Hara Nupura Keyura Pariharya Daraha. They're wearing necklaces, anklets, armlets, and bangles. Hara, necklace. Nupura, anklets. Keyura, armlets. Pariharya, the bangles that were on their body, especially the women there, striyaha. Vismitaha, they are smiling. Sasmitaha, tastuhu, along with their smile, they stood there. Where? Akashe, on the sky. Ramanai saha, with the great delight, because they are now looking at the entire mountain from, it's like drone. Nowadays, a drone, when it goes up, the landscape that we might have missed or we would not have seen now started becoming so clear. Because earlier times when I has to have a helicopter to go, nowadays a drone will show you everything. So it's like, from an angle when you look at it from the sky, obviously the very scene is different. So Darshayantaha Mahavidyam, they are showing the very ability to lift themselves up in the sky. That itself is a great demonstration of their power. Vidyadara Maharshayaha and Sahitaha Tastuhu Akashe Viksham Chakshuku Paramadam. Maharshayaha, Vidyadara Maharshayaha. And also the other rishis who are there are able to do the same thing. Akashe, Vikshan Chakraku Parvadam. They started to look at the very mountain from which they were lifting up themselves. That time, Rishinam Bhavidatmanam, Charananam Siddhanam, Sthitanam Vimale Ishware, Shushruvuschatada, Shabdam. They are also heard, rishis, charanas, siddhas, all of them. And Bhavidatmanam, those people who have extreme control over their senses, they started to hear the same sound, and also they uttered the statement, Esha Parvata Sankasha Hanuman, this Hanuman who is looking like another mountain, Marutatmajaha, the son of the wind, Mahavegaha, of great speed, Samudram Varunalayam Titirshati. He is seeking to, desiring to cross Tartumichati. Tartumichati, Tartumicha Titirsha. So the one who is seeking to go across this vast ocean, for whose sake? Is it entertainment? Is it like, what do you call that? Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm, or Disneyland. We go there and go through this huge slide, etc. Is there any purpose? Bhagavan ke liye kar raha hu. Aisa hai kya? Yeah, entertainment. We have no other work to do. Boring. Just let us go and get excited. Aisa karta hai Kar Hanuman? No. Ramartham, for the sake of Sri Rama. Vanarartham, for the sake of all the other monkeys who will be put into trouble if they don't come back with Sita. Dushkaram karma chikirshan, to get into this task which is so difficult to accomplish. What is that? Samudrasya paramparam dushprapam praptamichati. Samudrasya paramparam, the other side of this entire mighty Indian Ocean, dushprapam, which is difficult to do, praptamichati. Is desiring to accomplish that. Devotion is where a devotee tries to do what is most difficult for the sake of Bhagavan, God. There are two categories of people who do difficult tasks, take up difficult tasks. One, to prove oneself. That is filled with ego and arrogance. See, I can do it. I'll show you. I'll show to the world that I can accomplish this. Other category of people are those who do it to tell the world a message, give the world a message, not I am great. It is said that the one Edmund Hillary, who climbed the first time, who climbed the tallest mountain in the world, Everest. And when he reached the peak, later on he said, when he was asked, what is your message? Why did you do that? He said, I climbed the mountain Everest, but I conquered the mind, the fear of the mind. What stops us to do anything great is the fear. In this world, as human beings, if we overcome fear, we can do anything. Anything is possible. First message. Second message, he said, I bowed down to that mountain. Who gave me a chance? Who gave me the opportunity? Who allowed me to conquer? Is it not the greatness of that mountain? Say, if you are playing a game against a champion, yesterday it happened in tennis game. You play against a world champion. You must be, and if you defeat him, and that person smiles, let us say, that did not happen. But anyway, if that person smiles, giving a very strong fight, and then you win. Not only it proves obviously to the world that you are greater than the champion. That is one thing. But sportsmanship means what? The winner would go to the loser and said, thank you for allowing me to conquer you. Bhagavan also is so interested in looking and embracing the devotees, because by absolute devotion to the Lord, when they serve, when they sing, when they do the seva, when they do their sadhana, Bhagavan is so pleased. And he says, you are conquering my heart by your devotion. You conquered my heart. And what should the devotee say? Bhagavan, you allowed me to conquer this. You allowed me to do this. You are mighty and powerful. You can stop me. You could have stopped me. You could have created more and more desires in my head, whereby I would have stopped this. But you made all the circumstances available to me. You made the entire sadhana accomplishable. And that is your greatness. So Hanumanji here, for whose sake is doing? Ramartham, Vanarartham, Chikirshan, Dushkarma. Chikirshan is trying to do something which is unaccomplishable. Therefore, we must give him blessings. Iti vidyadhara vachaha.
Iti vidyadhara vachaha.
Shrutva tesham tapasvinam.
Shrutva tesham tapasvinam.
Tamaprameyam dadrushuhu.
Tamaprameyam dadrushuhu.
Parvate vanarashabam.
Parvate vanarashabham.
Duduve cha romani.
Dudhuve cha saromani.
Chakram pe chanalopamaha.
Chakrampe chanalopamaha.
Nanata cha mahanadam.
Nanada cha mahanadam.
Sumahanivato yataha.
Sumahanivato yadaha.
Anupurvya cha vrittam tat.
Anupuryam cha vrittam tat.
Angulam roma bishritam.
Trangulam roma bhishritam.
Utpadishyan
Bhishchitam.
Utpadishyan vichikshepa.
Utpatisyan vichikshepa.
Pakshiraja ivoragam.
Pakshiraja ivoragam.
Tasya langulamaviddham.
Tasya langulamaviddham.
Ativegasya prushtataha.
Ativegasya prishtataha.
Tadrishe garudeneva.
Dadrushe garudeneva.
Yamano mahoragaha.
Kriyamano mahoragaha.
Bahu samstabhyamayasa. Bahu samstabhyamayasa.
Bahu samstambhayamasa.
Sambayamasa, correct. Mahaparigha sannibhau.
Mahaparighasanibhau.
Asasadakapikathyam.
Asasadakapikatyam.
Charanau samchukocha.
Charanau sanchukocha.
Samhritya cha bhujau shriman.
Samhritya cha bhujau shriman.
Tadaiva cha shirodharam.
Tathaiva cha shirodharam.
Tejasattvam tatha viryam.
Tejasattvam tatha viryam.
Avivesha cha viryavan.
Avivesha saviryavan.
Iti vidyadharaha vachaha shrutva. Hearing this statement of all the vidyadharas, tesham tapasvinam of the vidyadharaha, tesham tapasvinam vachaha shrutva. Vidyadharas who were there up in the sky, having listened to these words of the tapasvis, tam aprameyam vanarashabam parvade dadrshuhu. Aprameyam, pramarahitam, incomparable, immeasurable Hanuman, they are able to now see. Earlier they were thinking that it is because of some kind of demons which are occupied in the mountain that are destroying the mountain. Now they could clearly see Hanumanji standing there. They are able to notice that. And according to the tapasvis, the one who is ready to accomplish the task of Sri Rama, that is the reason he was standing there, and his very standing itself has created such a havoc there. And there they were saying, they were able to see Romani Chakramecha Analobama. The one who was standing there, he Duduve, Dunoti, to agitate, to strike. But when it is with the Upasarga Ava plus Duta, Dunoti. But Ava, when it is put as a Upasarga, becomes one who casts off, leaves aside, renounces, rejection. That's why these Mahatmas are called Avadutas. Avadutas means those who have rejected the world for the sake of the higher. Here, Duduve, he rejected what? He agitated, he trembled or brought this shaking in his body. Chakrambe, and also moved it very fastly, like a fire. Romani, his own hair on the body started to shiver there, tremble there. Like when you go near the fire, you can hear the sound very closely. That is mean it is not steady, it is moving in such intensity. With extreme intensity, it is creating the air around the fire is agitated. It is because of the very fire itself, the air is trembling in the same way. And Nanadacha Mahanadam Sumahanivato Yataha. And he also made a noise like a thunder there. Mahanadam Sumahanivato Yataha Toyam Dadati. A cloud which is filled with water. How that when it is hit by the electric current, how it makes a thunder in the same way. Anupurvyacha Vrittam, his tail which was there, the Langulam Tat, Roma Abhishritam, that very long tail of Hanuman which was earlier curled up, circled, like coiled up. Now that Vrittam is the coiled up. Anupurvya, slowly opening up. Utpadishan, Vichikshepa, Pakshiraja Ivorakam. He, that again picked up that very huge long tail of his, which is later on going to be the one which destroys the part of Lanka. That very tail, a large one, which is lying there. And again, circling up again, Upadishyan Vichikshepa. He threw up that. It is constantly moving. And therefore, he picked up that and the huge tail, stretched it out. And then further, he rolled it up in a circle, like that of Garuda. When it picks up the snake start to curl because the snake doesn't have a back, what I call straight backbone. It's so flexible. That's why it's able to move like this in a circle. So it's like a Garuda when it picks up the snake, how the snake curls up. Yuvorakam Pakshiraja Vichikshepa. But the Upadishyan, Tasya Langula Mavruddham Adivegasya Pushtataha. That very Langula, the very tail, which is very powerful, has now come at the back of the Hanuman, as you see in the picture also here. See that. It curls up on his back. Prishtataha Langolam Aviddham Adivegasya. Tasya, of that Hanuman, who is of the most powerful. Langola, the very tail, has curled up on his back. Dadarshe Garuda Vege, Garudene Vage, Tiyamano Mahoragaha. They are all able to see it is similar to that of then, which is again as like the Garuda taking away the snakes on its own beak. In that way, Bahu Sambhayamasa. He kept his both the hands there, both the shoulders there on the mountain, because fixed on the mountain. Now he is now bending down and putting his hand on the mountain. Now he has to take off. Now for the takeoff, he needs a lot of power, because he has to push the mountain to rise up in the sky. So therefore, Bahu Samstambhayamasa Maha Parigasannibau. Maha Parigasannibau. So it is, Pariga means the iron bars. Both the hands are like two huge iron pillars. Maha Parigasannibau. Sannibau, Sadrishau, Samau, equal to. Asasad Kapihi Kadyam Charano Samchukochacha. Kapihi Asasada. Then he, having done that, he had that very Kapihi Kadyam, his own very waist. He's able to crouch it, pull it up inside, and also brought both the feet together, contracted both of them. Asasada Kapi. He's couched his own waist, as well as Charano Sanchukocha. Sankocha, the word Sankocha is shy. Shy means what? Kind of withdrawing. A shy person does not necessarily open up. So what happens? That person tries to, hide himself or herself. So he, to hold it to oneself. Similarly, here both the feet are now brought together, holding to each other. That is what is called contraction. Opposite of expansion, extension. So contracted, both the feet together, and samhritya cha bhujau, and again drawing both the shoulders together. Sriman tada evacha shirodaram, and also the head. Also he had drawing it close to the neck. So because all these are all necessary to gather up his momentum, to make all of them together, so that there is no expenditure of energy. So it is like, when the flight is ready to take off, even as you're sitting down after having boarded, you'll find that the takeoff time, they will switch off the lights inside the flight. They will switch off the AC also sometimes, because they want to conserve the maximum energy is conserved before taking off, because all the energy that is available in the engine or in the very plane must be used only for that very procedure of taking off. So they all that the same way he is contracting everything together, coming together. Tejaha sattvam tada viryam avivesha. Tejaha, that brilliant Hanuman, full of strength. Sattvam viryam avivesha. All his mind as well as his strength, everything he brought them, gathered them together. Viryavan, that mighty Hanumanji. Margamalokayan durat.
Margamalokayan durat.
Urdhva pranihite kshanaha.
Urdhva pranihite kshanaha.
Rurodha hridaye pranan.
Rurodha hridaye pranan.
Akasham avalokayan.
Akashamavalokayan.
Padvyam dridham avasthanam.
Padbhyam dridham avasthanam.
Krutva sakapi kunjaraha.
Krutva sakapi kunjaraha.
Karno Hanuman.
Nikuchya karnam Hanuman.
No, Karno. No.
Karno.
Pakishyan Mahabalaha.
Utpatishyan Mahabalaha.
Vanaran Vanarasreshta.
Vanaran Vanarashrestha.
Idam Vachanam Abravit.
Idam Vachanam Abravit.
Yata Raghava Nirmuktaha.
Yatha Raghava Nirmuktaha.
Sarashvasana Vikramaha.
Sharashvasana Vikramaha.
Gachet Tadvad Gamishyami.
Gachet Tadvad Gamishyami.
Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Lankam Ravana Palitam.
Nahi Drakshami Yaditam.
Nahi Drakshyami Yaditam.
Lankayam Janakatmajam.
Lankayam Janakatmajam.
Anenaiva hi vegena.
Anenaiva hi vegena.
Gamishyami suralayam.
Gamishyami suralayam.
Yadiva tridive sitam.
Yadiva tridive sitam.
Nadrakshyami krudashramaha.
Nadrakshyami kritashramah.
Adva rakshasarajanam.
Badhva rakshasarajanam.
Anayishyami ravanam.
Anayishyami ravanam.
Sarvada kritakaryoham.
Sarvatha kritakaryoham.
Ishyami sahasitaya.
Ishyami sahasitaya.
Anayishyami valokam. Sanayishyami valankam.
Anayishyami valankam.
Samutpatya Saravanam.
Samutpatya saravanam.
Margam alokayan, looking at the very path with which he has to move ahead, looking at it, durad, from a distance, urdhva pranihita ikshanaha. He is able to now have a vision of where he is going to go, as well as urdhva pranihita ikshanaha. His gaze fixed on the sky which has no limit at all. So he was looking at the sky, which is a vast sky. Imagine, there is no radar, there is no way he would know where exactly he has to land, because the Sampati has only said go towards the south. Sampati could see exactly where that Sita is placed, or in which, where is Lanka, etc. He could see out of his very powerful eyes. But Hanumanji and others, they are not able to look at what Sampati was able to see. And so therefore he took only the direction. Southern side I have to go, in whichever be the part, I have to keep going on the southern side and find Lanka there. So he fixed his eyes on the Marga. And Hridaye Pranam Rurodha, Pranan Rurodha. In his heart, he held up his breath. For a deep breath, Akasham Avalokayan, while he looking at the sky, vast space, he held very powerfully all the pranas. It's not just the air, breathing air. Prana here means all the energies. He had kept it captive, held it back. Padbhyam dridam avasthanam krutva kapikunjaraha saha. The best of the kapis, the monkeys, having placed himself on with his foot on this hill very, very firmly. Nikucha karnau, ears, having contracted. Hanuman utpadishyan mahabalaha. He rose up onto the sky, utpadishyan, ready to take off from there, contracting his hair, about to leave, utpadishyan. At that point, Vanaran Vanarasreshtaha idam vachanam abravid. Having got prepared, he addressed to all the Vanaras the last message of Hanuman before taking off. This very speed with which I am going to go is like Yata Ravana Nirmukta Sharaha Shvasanana Vikramaha Gached Tatvad. So this very arrow that is being shot by Rama, Shvasana Vikramaha. Shvasana means like a wind. Shvasana Vikramaha. It is like that of the wind. How it is so speedily it will move. The speed of the wind we can never comprehend. When it is just a breeze, you can enjoy it. You go to a garden, there's this beautiful little breeze, or when you come out of the house, how the entire outside in a garden or in your own backyard, how very, very soft breeze, but that very air starts to intensify and becomes a wind, Santa Ana wind. Very same thing only. Now has picked up the speed. How powerful it can bring down big buildings. So in the same way, the arrow that is there in the quiver of Rama is very quiet and calm. But when Rama picks up that, puts on his bow and pulls the string, and with all his power, when he releases that, it has its own life. It becomes such a powerful weapon. It goes and penetrates into the chest of the enemy and destroys him completely at once. Or it can even 7 huge Arjuna trees can be destroyed by that one short arrow, and it can come back and sit back in the quiver quietly. It's like that of the missile. So how powerful. Shvasana Vikramaha. Yet Tadvad Gachet, Tatvad Gamishyami. In that same way, I shall go Lankam Ravana Palitam, towards Lanka, which is governed by Ravana, protected by Ravana. Yadi Tam Lankayam Janagatmajam Nahi Drakshami. In case if I do not happen to see Sita in that Lankapuri, the same speed, Aneneva Vegena Gamishyami Suralayam. I will go to the heavens. Because if she is not there, obviously he might have hidden somewhere else. Suralayam Gamishyami. I will go to the heavens, and there, Yadi va Tridive Sitam Nadrakshami Kritashramaha. With all my efforts, still I am unable to see Sita even in the heavens. Then what I do? Rakshasa Rajanam Ravanam Badva Anayishyami. Then I know, because according to Sampati, it is Ravana who had done all these things. Therefore, I will bind him and bring him with me. Sarvata Kritakaryoham. This is to be underlined. Always I will accomplish what is given to me as the task. This should be the attitude of all the people who are engaging in any action. Once you start an action, don't stop until you accomplish that. Stop not till the goal is reached. Stop na uttishta jagrada prapyavara nibodada. as the Kathopanishad very clearly said. Once you have embarked into this path, don't stop. Whatever comes, keep going, keep going. Sometimes, as Gurudev would say, you may slow down because of the external such difficulties and other impediments, but move. Always keep on the move. Every day when we move 1 foot ahead, 1 inch ahead, we are progressing. One may look at people around and say, oh, this person could have accomplished more, that person could accomplish more. Everybody starts from the same point. Like a child, your own son or grandson, whatever it is, when you send him to the preschool and things like that, obviously he has to learn first the language, how to speak, how to make sentences, how to form the words, or mathematics, how to start 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3. Everybody starts in the same way. But one become a mathematician, another become English professor. How did they do it? They started from the same point only. So everyone has to keep moving in the direction in which one wants to accomplish. And therefore he says, Sarvada krita karya aham. I will always accomplish. Eshyami saha Sita, I will come back only with Sita. Anayishyami va lankam samutpatya saravana. So lankam, because it's feminine, therefore saravanam lankam. That's how I understood. Saranka is being feminine, so it is an adjective. Saravanam lankam. Ravanena saha lanka. Therefore, Dvitiya vibhakti, lankam, saravanam, along with Ravana, anayishyami, I shall bring it. That is the task that I have in me. If I don't find Sita, then I will bring Ravana himself. And not only Ravana, I'll bring the Lanka itself. So if I find Sita, I will definitely bring her back. This way, very clear about what he wants to do and very focused is Hanumanji here. Aganita Gunagana Bhushan Ram.
Aganita Gunagana Bhushan Rama Asrita Vassala Jaya Jaya Rama Ayodhya Vasi Sita Rama Apad Bandhava Jaya Jaya Rama Dasharatha Nandana Sri Rama Dashamukha Mardana Jaya Jaya Rama Kausalya Sukhavardhana Rama Kamita Phalada Jaya Jaya Rama Papa Vimochana Sri Rama Patabhirama Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Jivana Sita Rama Jaya Raghurama Jaya Siya Rama Vanara Sevita Sri Rama Varidhi Vandana Jaya Jaya Rama Hanumat Pujita Sita Rama Jaya Raghurama Jaya Siya Rama Raghupati Raghava Raja Rama Patita Pavana Sita Rama Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai, Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Bolo bhai sab santan ki jai, Sadgurunath Maharaj ki